This is a quick guide for Guardian Druid in the War Within. So, what set bonus first do we have as a Guardian Druid in the War Within? We have Thrash and Moonfire, increasing your damage done and reducing damage you take, and that can stack 3 times. And for the 4 set, arcane damage you deal is increased, and bleed damage you deal is also increased. Now, for both the Raiding and Mythic Plus builds, we are going to be going with Druid of the Claw. In the War Within, this is obviously what is new for Guardian Druids. Ravage. Your auto attacks have a chance to make your next maul become Ravage. Slash through your target in a wide arc, dealing loads of damage to enemies in front of you. There's a lot of bleed involved. And then the last one we get is Claw Rampage. During Berserk, Mangle, Swipe, and Thrash have a chance to make your next maul become Ravage as well. And everything in between kind of is a bit of utility and increasing this effect. Now, this is the AoE rotation here. Starting off, we're using Heart of the Wild, mainly because our balanced spells like Moonfire are going to deal increased damage. So we're going to use this as soon as we pull into the fight. After that, we're going to use Thrash on cooldown and keep Moonfire up on our targets at all times. Thrash strikes all nearby enemies, dealing bleed damage and an additional amount of bleed damage over 11 seconds. When applied from bear form, obviously, which is what we're going to be doing because we are going to be in bear form as a Guardian Druid in the War Within, and that effect can stack 3 times. It will generate some Rage, which is our main resource as a Guardian Druid. After that, we're going to use Mangle, which will do more damage to bleeding targets, which of course Thrash does. That makes them bleed. That will also generate a lot of Rage. We then have our cooldown Incarnation Guardian of Ursoc. This is actually going to increase our maximum health and mean that our other abilities will hit up to 3 targets as well, and just turn us into like a bit of a super druid, if you will. After that, we're going to use Lunar Beam, specifically only in the Mythic Plus build. We don't have this ability in the single target or raid build, and that is the only difference between the 2 builds. Summons a beam of lunar light at your location, increasing your mastery by 15%, and dealing arcane damage and healing you over 8 seconds as well. After that, you can use Rage of the Sleeper on cooldown, unleashing the Rage of Ursoc, preventing 20% of all damage you take, increasing damage done, and granting you some leech as well. Then we're looking at how we're going to actually spend all this rage we're generating. Well, Maul is your offensive way of spending rage, and then Iron Fur is your defensive version. Mauls the target for damage, and Iron Fur can increase your armor, and it does stack. We will get some free procs here, as you can see on our Moonfire. Use them at this kind of level in the priority. If your health dips low, you can use Frenzied Regen, healing you over 3 seconds and increasing healing received. And then Swipe is kind of your filler ability. Swipe all nearby targets, inflicting physical damage, and it does deal reduced damage beyond 5 targets. Yes. Few important talents. One is Tooth and Claw. Auto attacks have a chance to empower your next Maul, stacking twice. An empowered cast of Maul deals more damage, costs less rage, and reduces the target's damage that they do to you for 6 seconds. This one here is where we get our free Moonfires. Your damage has a 5% chance to trigger a free automatic Moonfire on the target. Your next one that you press yourself then will generate 8 rage and deal 300% increased damage. We also have this talent here, Vicious Cycle, where your Mangle will increase the damage of your next Maul, and casting Maul increases the damage of your next Mangle, and that can stack 3 times, so there's a bit of a symbiotic relationship between those two. If we look at the raid build that I'm now swapping into, you can see quite a few talents are changing. However, the only main thing that we're actually losing here is going to be Lunar Beam, and as you can see, the main rotation is still the same. One other thing is how to taunt, which is going to be your growl here, making sure that you have aggro at all times. Now that was of course a quick guide for Guardian Druid in the War Within for both M+ and raiding, but if you would like a full and comprehensive guide, check the link in my description and also the pinned comment for my playlist on my other channel of full in-depth guides for every spec in the War Within. And if you would like other quick guides for PvE or PvP, check out this playlist here because I'm doing every spec in the War Within for you.